This is what I want to talk about. To my melanated brothers and sisters, my gods and goddesses, my melanated kings and queens. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of the name Yakub, the Bighead scientist, and this is what I want to talk about. How do you know that Yakub, the Bighead scientist, didn't create our oppressors because of his skin tone and not just his big head? How you know he didn't create our oppressors that destroyed the noses of our ancient ancestors' statues from the ancient days and, stole our history, in other words, whitewashed our history? How you know he didn't create our oppressors to resemble him because he was an albino? Not a brown person with a big head, but an albino with a big head. And now, you have to think about it. They have whitewashed our history for years. So, in other words, they have lied about many things. How you know they didn't lie about Yakub, instead of being a brown person? How you know they didn't lie about his original skin tone? How you know he wasn't an albino? Now, an albino is still considered a black person. In other words, an albino is still considered a Negro. So how you know Yakub, the bighead scientist, wasn't an albino with a big head? And people picked on him not just for having a big head, but being an albino with a big head. So how you know he didn't scientifically create the white race to not only resemble him, but be against his people for picking on him for being an albino with a big head? Now, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. It's just something to think about.